winery started in 1974. It was the old Carlsville Elementary School from 1868 till 1963. It was abandoned for about 10 years. In 1984, my family bought the winery. My folks were big wine connoisseurs, but really knew nothing about making wine.
Went a long way from one-room schoolhouse, from bottling one bottle at a time on an antique piece of equipment to thousands of gallons and 5 pallets of wine off a bottling line a day.
Now we're going into a new venture called Door County Distillery. We're going to start distilling right here connected to the winery. We're going to start off with vodka and cherry vodka.
Possibly brandy, because we're Wisconsin, we have to have brandy, so then, a cherry brandy. As you walk into the old original 1868 Carlsville schoolhouse, this is it. The original wall that separated the 2 schoolrooms ran down the middle of the room. It was 1st through 4th on one side, 5th through 8th grade on the other side. But what's more interesting is our new food tasting area and wine pairings area here. So we're allowed to taste many of our products that we sample, including all our great homemade fudge. We have the addition of Fat Louie's Olive Oil Company, where we have all Italian balsamic vinegars, aged balsamic vinegars, which are 8-leaf quality, as well as our extra virgin olive oils, including our new organic certified. The end of the steps is where the original schoolhouse stopped, and we had this floor added back in '94 and then again in 2004. It's now my wine tasting room.
La Crosse grape that we produce and bottle, that's from an all-Wisconsin grape. And we have a Maréchal Foch that's also an all-Wisconsin grape that we grow and bottle and make here. And then we have Saval Blanc that's in our Peninsula White that we mix with apples. So we have 3 wines that have grapes from Wisconsin.
The tasting bar used to be in the back of a large room, and now we have a much more personal and quaint tasting experience because, of course, the ceiling is lower and the tasting staff are much closer to our guests. Most of our guests struggle at getting to the tasting bar when we have a busy point in the season, so we've added another tasting bar. These French doors are allowed to close to have a semi-private tasting experience, or when it's busy, we open the French doors to come into the second bar, which is an exact duplicate of the other tasting bar. To my left is Bistro 42. Now, the restaurant was here back in 2004, but certainly had an opportunity for a facelift. Bistro is very well known for their casual American Italian flair, and they have a stone-fired pizza, and these pizzas are the bomb. This is the main entrance. As you come up from the downstairs foyer, you see our new tank bays. Each side will hold up to 20 tanks. This size is, we have the larger tanks on this side, a smaller size on this bay, but most of them are anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 gallons. And this was really the premise of why we needed to do this expansion. We were simply out of space to make more wine. So follow me across the bridge to our last tasting venue here, Door County Distillery.
Paul Santoriello, our winemaker, is going to take that on. He's going to oversee the wine and the distilling project.
Distilling is more in the brewing industry rather than winery. We see that we can make brandy from wine and whiskey from grain. And a lot of the vodka, especially the vodka we produce, is from grain. It's 100% wheat. What the still is actually doing is it's a giant concentrator, and it's the skill of the artisan of the distiller that's actually condensing and then capturing just the ethanol part. That is what high-proof spirit is. That's what vodka is. What we want to do is capture the hearts of the run, which is ethanol. The heads you immediately cut out, and that's because it'll give you a hangover. The sampling is done at the back end of the still, where it's more sensory than it is tasting. You can smell and understand the product as it comes off, and you can capture higher quality at that point, at the back end of the still.
And then our tasting area is right behind me, and you are allowed to come in and have a small sample. Door County Distillery was a vision of one of a local architect and produced and developed by a local construction company. It's just a beautiful building. The outside is reminiscent of a Door County round barn with Door County limestone on the outside, and the inside is somewhat reminiscent of a barrel. And the beautiful copper just warms the entire building and complements the copper domes of our beautiful still. The first series of our 3 new releases will be lighthouse doors, but we're expanding that to always include doors that have some kind of tie to Door County, be it a lighthouse or a historical purposes or some type of preservation that includes the story of Door County and all of our products. On the back of our labels will be a key that supposedly matches that style of that antique door, of the current door, with a story that describes how the door ties into the essence of what's in the bottle.
We're hoping to turn out over 6,000 cases a year is what we're planning on doing. We do over 50,000 cases of wine.
This past season we produced over 120,000 gallons of wine, and that's a lot of vino. Find us online, type in Door County Wine, Door Peninsula Winery. Our website's dcwine.com.